What if I told you the city once known as the ultimate American playground is quietly falling apart? Las Vegas, the place that promised cheap thrills, legendary buffets, and nonstop action, now sits half empty on weeknights. Hotels are slashing prices. Buffets have vanished. Casino floors feel like ghost towns. This is not a recession. This is not lingering pandemic fatigue. Something deeper broke. And if you have ever dreamed of visiting Vegas or wondered why your last trip felt off, stay with me. Because what happened to Sin City might change how you see it forever. And the final reason is the one nobody expected to uncover. Number 10. The old Vegas experience is fading. There was a time when every casino on the Strip felt like stepping into another world. The Excalibur had knights and castles. The Luxor had a massive sphinx guarding its doors. Treasure Island staged live pirate battles on the sidewalk. These places were not just hotels. They were experiences. You did not need to gamble or spend a fortune. Just walking through the lobbies felt like an adventure. That version of Vegas is almost gone. One by one, the themed resorts have been gutted or demolished. The volcano at the Mirage went dark before the property closed entirely. The Tropicana, a Strip icon for nearly 70 years, was torn down to make room for a baseball stadium. What replaced these landmarks? Sleek towers with minimal personality, boutique concepts, luxury branding. The new Vegas wants to feel like Miami or Dubai, not a fantasy escape for middle-class families. And that shift has real consequences. When every resort looks the same, there is no reason to explore, no reason to wander from property to property, just to see what is inside. The wonder is gone. So is the foot traffic. But the fading themes are only part of the story, because while the old quirks disappeared, something else shifted behind the scenes, and casinos quietly chose who mattered most. If you aren't a high roller, the answer is not in your favor. Number 9. Mega resorts prioritized VIPs over regular visitors. Walk into any major Strip casino today, and you will notice something strange. Half the best real estate is blocked off. Velvet ropes, private entrances, exclusive lounges you cannot access without a host or a black card. The modern mega resort does not want everyone. It wants the right people, high rollers, whales, guests who drop tens of thousands in a single weekend. For them, Vegas rolls out the red carpet, complimentary suites, personal concierges, reserved tables at clubs where bottles start at $500. It is a fantastic experience if you qualify. But for the average visitor, the message is clear. You are not the priority. This shift happened gradually. Casinos realized that one wealthy guest could generate more profit than 50 casual tourists. So they restructured. Loyalty programs became harder to climb. Comps dried up for low and mid-tier players. The free drink. While you gamble, it takes longer now, if it comes at all. The result is a strange atmosphere. You are surrounded by luxury you cannot touch, restaurants you cannot afford, experiences designed for someone else. And instead of feeling welcomed, many tourists feel like they are just filling space until a bigger spender arrives. That exclusivity might work for 5-star resorts in Monaco, but Vegas was never supposed to be exclusive. It was supposed to be the great equalizer. Everyone got a shot. Now only some people do. And while Vegas chased the wealthy, younger travelers began drifting somewhere else entirely. Number 8. Younger travelers prefer experiences, not slots. Here is a truth the casino industry does not want to admit. Gen Z and younger millennials are not excited about slot machines. They do not dream about blackjack tables or poker rooms. When they think about travel, they picture Coachella. They picture hiking in Iceland. They picture beach clubs in Bali or late night. Street food in Tokyo. Vegas, with its windowless casinos and recycled air, feels like their parents' vacation. The numbers reflect this shift. Surveys show that travelers under 35 prioritize experiences over destination. They want stories to tell, photos to post, adventures that feel unique. Sitting at a slot machine pulling a lever does not check those boxes. Even nightlife, once a Vegas stronghold, faces competition. Why pay $300 for a table at a strip club when you can fly to Tulum for a weekend? Why fight crowds on the boulevard when Ibiza or Barcelona offers something more exotic? Casinos have tried to adapt. They book residencies with pop stars. They build elaborate pool complexes. They host esports tournaments. But these additions feel like patches on a deeper problem. The core product, gambling, does not resonate with younger travelers the way it did with their parents and grandparents. And when your future customer base is not interested, the long-term math gets scary. But even the visitors who do come are met with something far more frustrating the moment they step outside. Number 7. The Strip became a walking zoo. Picture this. You land in Vegas, excited for your trip. You step onto the Strip ready to explore. Within 30 seconds, someone shoves a flyer in your face. A man dressed as a knockoff superhero demands money for a photo. A promoter grabs your arm, pitching a club you have never heard of. Welcome to the Las Vegas Boulevard experience in 2025. The Strip has become an obstacle course. Street performers, costume characters, ticket hustlers, and aggressive promoters crowd every pedestrian bridge and sidewalk. For first-time visitors, it is overwhelming. For repeat guests, it is exhausting. And almost everyone agrees it has gotten worse. Part of the problem is regulation, or lack of it. The boulevard sits in an unincorporated part of Clark County with limited enforcement. Vendors and performers know the rules are loose, so they push boundaries. What starts as entertainment becomes harassment. Tourists share horror stories online. Videos of aggressive encounters go viral. The reputation spreads. Many visitors now avoid the Strip entirely after dark. They take ride shares directly to their destinations. They eat inside resorts. They skip the sidewalk scene altogether. That is a disaster for the casinos relying on foot traffic. When people stop wandering, they stop discovering. They stop impulse buying. They stop gambling at the random slot machine they passed on the way to dinner. And as the Strip loses its appeal, another part of Vegas quietly picks up the pieces. Number 6. Downtown became the competing alternative. While the Strip chased luxury, downtown Las Vegas made a different bet. Fremont Street doubled down on what Vegas used to be. Cheap drinks, loose slots, live music, a gritty, electric atmosphere that feels raw and unpolished. And it is working. More tourists are skipping the Strip and heading straight to Old Vegas. The appeal is simple. Downtown casinos still offer low table minimums. You can find $5 blackjack and $2 craps in places that feel like time capsules. The drinks are stronger and cheaper. The crowd is less pretentious. There are no velvet ropes, no VIP lines, no silent judgment about your outfit or your budget. For budget-conscious travelers, Fremont Street offers what the Strip abandoned: accessibility, fun without financial stress, the freedom to gamble, eat, and drink without watching every dollar. Resorts like Circa have proven that downtown can attract serious investment while keeping prices reasonable. And the Fremont Street experience, that massive LED canopy overhead, gives visitors a spectacle they will not find anywhere on the boulevard. The irony is painful for Strip executives. By pushing upscale, they accidentally created a competitor in their own backyard. Downtown is not just surviving, it is thriving by offering the experience Vegas was famous for. But if tourists are discovering downtown, locals figured it out long ago, because the people who actually live in Las Vegas have been avoiding the Strip for years. Number 5. Locals avoid the Strip. Ask anyone who lives in Las Vegas where they hang out on weekends. Almost none of them will say the Strip. Locals have their own world, a parallel Vegas that tourists rarely see. Neighborhood casinos like Red Rock, Green Valley Ranch, and Stations properties scattered across the valley. These spots cater specifically to residents. Better odds, cheaper food, no parking fees, no resort charges. You can grab a prime rib dinner for $15 and play penny slots without fighting through crowds of bachelorette parties. For locals, the Strip represents everything annoying about their city: the traffic, the inflated prices, the tourists who stop in the middle of the sidewalk to take photos. Why deal with any of that when Station Casinos offers a movie theater, bowling alley, and sportsbook 10 minutes from home? This local exodus matters more than people realize. When Vegas residents spent money on the Strip, they added a stable revenue stream casinos could count on year-round. Now that money flows elsewhere, the Strip becomes entirely dependent on tourism, which means any dip in visitor numbers hits twice as hard. And here is the uncomfortable truth. If the people who live here do not think the Strip is worth visiting, why should anyone else? Locals know the value equation better than anyone. Their absence is a warning sign. But while foot traffic struggles, the real crisis is happening inside the casinos, because the entire business model that built Las Vegas is falling apart. Number 4. Gambling no longer pays the bills. Here is a secret the casino industry does not advertise. Gambling is no longer the main revenue driver on the Strip. Decades ago, the math was simple. Casinos made their money on the gaming floor. Everything else, the cheap rooms, the buffets, the free drinks, existed to keep you playing. Gambling funded the entire operation. That equation flipped. Today, Strip resorts generate more revenue from nightclubs, restaurants, retail, and entertainment than from slot machines and table games. The casino floor went from profit center to loss leader. Gaming is almost an afterthought. This shift explains a lot. Why rooms got more expensive, why buffets disappeared, why resort fees exploded. Without gambling profits subsidizing everything, casinos had to monetize every other inch of the property. That $15 steak dinner? Gone. The $2 shrimp cocktail? Ancient history. Now everything needs to turn a profit on its own. The problem is that when visitors cut back on extras, the whole system wobbles. A tourist who skips the nightclub, eats off property, and only plays slots for an hour does not generate enough revenue to justify their presence. Casinos built a model assuming guests would spend lavishly everywhere. When they do not, the math crumbles. And nothing illustrates this tension better than what happened to live entertainment, once the crown jewel of the Vegas experience. Number 3. Shows are shorter, tickets are higher. Las Vegas built its reputation on spectacular entertainment. Sinatra at the Sands, Siegfried and Roy with their White Tigers, Cirque du Soleil, productions that redefined what a live show could be. For decades, catching a Vegas show was part of the pilgrimage. You saved up, dressed up, and experienced something you could not see anywhere else. That magic is fading. Ticket prices have soared past what average families can afford. A decent seat to a major production now runs $150 to $300 per person. Bring a family of 4 and you are looking at over $1,000 before dinner. At the same time, many shows have quietly shortened their run times. What once ran 90 minutes now clocks in at 70. Productions that featured large casts have trimmed performers. The spectacle shrinks while the price grows. Tourists notice. They are making hard choices. One show instead of 2. Cheaper seats in the back. Or skipping entertainment entirely and spending that money elsewhere. Some visitors report feeling gouged. They remember when Vegas shows felt like a value. Now they feel like a luxury only wealthy guests can enjoy regularly. And when entertainment becomes unaffordable, it removes another reason to visit. The buffets are gone. The gambling is worse. And now the shows are priced for millionaires. Each pillar that made Vegas special crumbles a little more. But perhaps no decision backfired worse than the grand strategy casinos pursued for the past decade. A gamble that may have broken the city's soul. Number 2. Luxury strategy backfired. Somewhere along the way, Las Vegas decided it wanted to be something else. Instead of the affordable playground for everyday Americans, it wanted to compete with Dubai, Monaco, and the world's most exclusive destinations. Strip resorts went upscale. Room rates climbed. Dress codes appeared. Casual buffets became celebrity chef restaurants with $100 tasting menus. The vision was seductive. Attract wealthier guests who spend more per visit. Trade volume for margin. Become a premium brand. On paper, it made sense. In reality, it backfired spectacularly. The problem is that Vegas's original magic was accessibility. Anyone could come. A truck driver from Ohio, a teacher from Florida, a young couple saving for months to afford 3 nights. That democratic energy created the chaos, the excitement, the stories. When everything becomes premium, that energy dies. Wealthy travelers have options. They can go anywhere. A millionaire choosing between Vegas and the French Riviera might pick the Riviera, but a middle-class family dreaming of a big trip, Vegas was the answer, was being the key word by pricing out its core. Audience, Vegas made itself optional, forgettable. Just another expensive destination competing against dozens of others. Occupancy dropped even as room supply shrank. The crowds feel thinner. The excitement feels manufactured. And visitors who do come once may not return. They got the experience. They do not need it again at these prices. Which brings us to the deepest wound of all, the one that threatens everything Vegas was built on. Number 1, the magic is not guaranteed anymore. For generations, Las Vegas held a unique place in American culture. It was the escape, the place where anything could happen, where a regular person could feel like a high roller for a weekend, where the lights, the sounds, and the energy created something you could not find anywhere else on Earth. That magic was never about the buildings or the games. It was about the feeling, the sense that Vegas was special, that visiting was an event, that stories would be made and memories would last forever. Today, that feeling is not automatic. Travelers weigh their options differently now. They compare Vegas against cruises, against international trips, against staying home and saving money. The city no longer wins by default. It has to compete. And competition means losing sometimes. Younger visitors question whether Vegas is worth the cost. Older visitors remember when it was better. Families look at the price tag and book Disney instead. The emotional draw, the pull that made Vegas iconic, has weakened. This is the real crisis, not the empty casino floors or the vanished buffets. Those are symptoms. The disease is that Las Vegas stopped being the obvious choice. It became just another option. And when the magic becomes optional, everything else falls apart. Can Vegas reinvent itself again? Can it recapture what made it special? Or has the dream faded for good? What do you think? Is Vegas still worth visiting? Or has the city lost its soul? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.